Guys, and welcome back to another Axel 72 video. And in today's video, it's a pleasure to be joined by Reese Lynch. And Reese, first of all, how are we?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, good. Still buzzing from the weekend, but yeah, getting over it now.
No, of course. I mean, anybody would be buzzing. And I suppose, it leads into my first question. Was that debut of yours a punch perfect debut?
Yeah, yeah, I would say so myself. Close to it. Still got caught with a couple punches, but nah, it was good. It was exactly how we planned for it to go. Like everything that we had done in the gym kind of paid off. So, that was brilliant. It was good.
In the lead up to a fight as important as your debut, are you kind of envisioning how the fight's going in your head?
Yeah, you kind of you have a think about it, don't you? Yeah, you're constantly kind of thinking about how you want it to pan out. And obviously we had watched a bit. Me and my brother had watched a bit of my opponent and stuff like that against different people like Stephen Cairns and stuff like that, and took we took like points uh and stuff to that we wanted to do in the fight, and then having it actually pay off is just different level.
And, a lot of fighters, especially going into their pro debut, they just want to get through the rounds, bank the rounds, try and, entertain a little bit. But ultimately, there's a lot of nerves and a lot of the time they can't get a stoppage. But for you, did you want to go out there and entertain and, not worry about it being your first time?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to go out there and make a statement. Especially with obviously Queensberry giving me that good slot. You want to kind of make go out and make an impression. You don't want to I didn't want to leave anything in the ring, so and I wanted to get that stoppage. Are we like you're looking to get stoppages, aren't you? You want to like grab the viewers' attention and stuff like that. So yeah,
Of course. And I suppose, did you feel much nerves or pressure before the fight?
I wouldn't say I really felt the nerves. No, I'm experienced. Obviously, I was an experienced amateur and stuff like that, so I'm kind of used to like big events, big venues. But I think it was more to do with the fact that everything was just so quick. It was like I was chilling in the house one minute, and then the next minute I'm up. I'm going to get my food before I fight, and then it was like as soon as I've had my food into the changing room, and then it's like getting ready, starting to get my wraps on, and then warming up. So I think everything just went too quick to like be able to sit and like think about anything, if you know what I mean. It was just like straight into action as soon as I got in the arena. So yeah, I didn't feel too much nerves for that one, to be fair, compared to like what sometimes what I felt internationally. And it might just be because I have my brother in my corner and stuff like that as well. So it's just a bit more like comfort, and I know that like what me and Ped have been working on has been good.
What's it been like, having your brother in your corner? Is he going to tell it how it is? Is he going to give you that brutally honest truth?
Yeah, definitely. Like he'll tell me like if I need to change anything, or if say if he thinks I'm bad, then he'll let me know I'm bad. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's good. I enjoy having him, and I'll listen to my brother as well. Obviously he's trained me since I was like 8, 9, something like that. So um, it's just like I know that when he tells me to do something, I'll listen to him. Do you know what I mean? I trust what he tells me to do.
Was he the reason why you got into fighting?
Yeah, he was actually. He took me up to the boxing club when I was younger, and then tried to get me into it. I started off at House, and then I kind of left there for like a year, and then he took me up to Spring Hill and Shots, and then they just kind of kept carrying on from there. I loved it, and he actually didn't coach me at the start of at the start of my career as well. He wasn't even a coach. He actually came up to train one one time, and then he ended up getting into the coaching side of it. So for like my first couple of years, it was like just the Spring Hill coaches, and then my brother got involved with Spring Hill, and then it just kind of blossomed from there.
So you've kind of progressed through this journey together.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's been my coach for most of my career. when I've won like medals and competitions and stuff like that. He's been my main coach really.
And I'd imagine he was there when you won, the Commonwealth Games gold medal. And I suppose, reflecting back upon that time, how good of a moment was that in your career?
Yeah, he was there. Yeah, he came down and watched and stuff like that. And nah, that's probably one of my main kind of one of the best things in my career was the Commonwealth Games gold. Um, I think with it being in Birmingham and stuff like that, it was kind of like a home games as well. Just because everybody could come. So obviously used to fighting international. Um, you're used to not having like a home or like your home back end. You know what I mean? But down in Birmingham, everybody could come down, so it was like everybody was there. But yeah, Birmingham was definitely one of the top moments in my life so far.
I'm sure that you go into every fight believing that you're going to win, but going into that tournament, were you kind of just thinking, if I don't get towards, the semi-final or the final, it's been disappointing, or were you just thinking, this is a really big opportunity, let's just try to get through each round? How was your mindset going into it?
Going into the Commonwealth Games, I wasn't really thinking about getting beat, to be honest.
Mhm.
I was mainly just thinking about gold. Uh, like the whole time, I was just convinced that I was going to win gold. I was that confident going into it. I just, I don't know, just something clicked that week that um, I just thought like there was no way I was getting beat, to be honest, which is mad saying, but yeah, I just didn't feel like anyone could beat me there at that time. I think just with the training and how I was feeling at the time, I just felt really, like prepared and ready for it.
And I feel going into the pros, that mindset must be pretty much the same.
Yeah, similar. Obviously there was like different um kind of like I was thinking doubts, like not so much doubts, but like just thinking like with my style as an amateur, like would it kind of work as well as in the pros, and would I be able to like develop into like planting my feet, and because obviously it's a bit of a different style. Like with amateur, it's like point scoring still. Like you're still kind of trying to point score, and it's not so much digging into the shots. Whereas as a pro, you're in there to try and take people out. You're basically in there to hurt people, aren't you? So
Mhm.
it was just seeing whether it would kind of transfer, but Um, so you can like you can have some kind of doubts and stuff like that, but I was still confident. You know what I mean? I'm confident in my ability and stuff like that. And but it was just like, will I be able to kind of dig into my shots and stuff like that? But on Saturday, it kind of it all paid off.
And, getting the stoppage, I'm sure for, the next few fights, your confidence is going to be higher than ever.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a big confidence booster. Do you know what I mean? It proved that I can go in there and do that kind of thing. But it's just keeping it rolling and trying to, you know, keep getting the stoppages on the cards and stuff like that.
And I saw that you were in line seemingly to go to the Olympics in Paris. And what kind of happened as to, why that didn't happen?
So I got I boxed in the first qualifier at the European Games, um, and I was training. So like a month prior to it, we were in Italy, and I had an injury. It was a back injury. I was getting a bit of back pain,
Mhm.
and so I went to the qualifier. It was getting treated as like bad like muscle pain. Boxed in the European Games, and I wasn't. I was kind of stopping me from throwing my backhand. So it was like I was kind of like pulling it, and not really letting it go. If you know what I mean. I wasn't like putting my full rotation into my backhand and stuff like that. And then I went on holiday after the European Games. I got beat off a good kid as well. I got beat off Ruzanov, who's the Bulgarian lad. He's multiple time European champion and stuff like that. So he's a really good kid.
Mhm.
Um, and then I went on holiday and stuff like that. I was still getting this pain in my back. I went back to GB. So this is maybe like a month or two after the European Games, and I was still training away down in GB, but I was still getting this pain. I got put in sparring one day. I was getting treated. I was still getting treated for muscle, and then I got put in sparring one day with the American kid Emilio Garcia,
Mhm.
and I came out for that spar after that, and I was like, they went to do some work, so I came out the spar early. I was meant to do six. I could only do three. He was hitting me. I couldn't even defend. Um, and then they went to do some work on my back, and I said to the physios there, I was like, I think we're probably going to need to send me for a scan because this is like, I don't think this is muscle. So they sent me for a scan, and it came back that I had the broken ribs on my back, my left side, and then like the month after it, I broke the ribs on my right side as well. So I was out for like half a year nearly. Uh, and then once I came back, I just couldn't get into my form quick enough really. Um, I got beat off the one of the GB lads as well in the American tournament, and then after that it was just kind of like, well, there's no point in really hanging around anymore. Like, let's just look at going pro. So yeah, a bit of unfortunate injuries, and then coming back and trying to get back into form. Just it was too quick of a turnaround to then try and get to the next qualifier after that. So
And going through an injury like that, especially quite early on in your career still, I'm sure, it must have been quite devastating for you, that kind of dream of not being able to go to the Olympics. And was there ever a point in your mindset where maybe you were considering not carrying on with boxing, the risk of injury?
um, nah, there was never really any point that I thought about not carrying on. It was just like sitting around and kind of when I'd normally be training, it was like I would be sitting around and not really doing much. Do you know what I mean? It was like I was just trying to get over that when I would be training. I wasn't doing anything. Do you know what I mean? And that was probably the hardest part. But I never really thought about quitting boxing. I knew I'd be straight back into it as soon as I came back. But it was like just knowing, like, there was always that kind of doubt that now that I've been out for a while and like people are just getting ahead of you. Do you know what I mean? Because you've not really been able to keep training and keep getting ready, and it's like it kind of puts you backwards. And then it's try to get back up there again. It was difficult.
Do you feel like you are still at this point making up for lost time?
No, not anymore.
Mm.
I feel like now that I'm back with my brother as well,
Mm.
like just training with my brother, he kind of knows my style in and out, and he knows how to get the best out of me. So I feel like now being back with my brother, I just feel like kind of back to myself.
And when did you hear about the interest of Queensberry, wanting to sign you? They've signed a lot of great talent recently, but when did you hear about it?
It would have been after that. Well, probably about June, July, August, something like that. Last year. So
Mm.
I was in talks with Queensberry for a while. I've probably been talking to them for about half a year.
Well,
Um, and then obviously I heard kind of the start of the year from maybe like February time about the Josh Taylor card, and about getting put on that. And then obviously that happened as well. So yeah, I've been talking to Queensberry for quite a bit.
were you surprised to have your name featured on such a big show?
Um, I wouldn't say surprised, but obviously not many people that are debuting get to get a big TV slot and stuff like that on a big as big a show as that.
Mm.
Um, so it was just kind of like more of a buzz than anything. Like being able to get that kind of that that good a slot on the TV on a big show. In my debut, it was like kind of shows that what obviously Queensberry like how they rate me as well.
And obviously, the main event was Josh Taylor losing, and that was arguably quite a devastating loss for this point in his career. What do you make of it? Do you think this could be the end of Josh Taylor's career?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't say we've got the Josh Taylor that we once had anymore. When he was obviously undisputed and he was winning. When he won the World Boxing Super Series and stuff like that, he was just different level. Um, Obviously, I think that maybe time has kind of caught up with him and stuff like that, and obviously he's getting older, so it might be harder for him to get back to that kind of top, where he was. But I still think he's got a bit of fight in him, and he can definitely beat guys. It's just on his day, like if he's kind of fit and he's trained well for it. But who knows? I hope he's obviously keeps going as well because he's good. He's good to watch and he's good for Scottish boxing. He's been brilliant for Scottish boxing as well.
And obviously, like you mentioned, I'm sure you looked up to him a lot when you were coming up. And was there many other fighters in which you were often, looking up to?
Yeah, yeah, I look up to Josh Taylor a lot as well, just for what he's done. That's brilliant. He's been getting with him being southpaw and stuff like that. Kind of correlates as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, I've looked up to loads of fighters like Kieran Smith and stuff like that. He boxed out in my gym as well, so I looked up to him when I was a young boy. He was in the same gym as me. And then like obviously your Lomachenkos and your Jai Opetayas and stuff like that.
And do you feel like currently at the moment Queensberry has the best stable?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. They've got a good stable. They've got a lot of good young talent. They've also got like good boys as well. Do you know what I mean? That are more advanced in their career. Yeah, they've got a good stable.
And for yourself, I'm sure you're going to be wanting to become one of the big names in the stable. And so, how far do you believe you can go? What are your aspirations?
Yeah, I can definitely go all the way. I know that obviously I've got the skills that you need to be able to go all the way. Do you know what I mean? I've been there and done it as an amateur. Um, I've obviously won world bronze medal and Commonwealth games, so yeah, it's just kind of applying it and making sure that I get there. But yeah, I can definitely win world titles and if not be undisputed as well.
And I'm going to leave with this final question. I really appreciate your time, Reese. And so, for the support, I'm sure professional debut, a lot of people must have came out to support you. What would you have liked to say to them?
Yeah, just want to say thank you to everyone that came to support. Obviously, everyone that bought tickets, people that watched at home as well, all the people from my town and stuff like that. Obviously, it doesn't go unnoticed, and it wouldn't be the same without obviously everyone coming and supporting, buying tickets, especially like my sponsors and stuff like that. Just a big shout out to all my sponsors, because it wouldn't be possible without them.
Excellent. Well, Reese, like I say, thank you very much for agreeing to do this. And, again, best of luck with the rest of your career. And hopefully, in a few more fights, maybe we can come back and have another catch up.
Definitely, mate. Thank you very much.
Nice one. Okay. Thank you very much again, man.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.